love instead of live.
We're just going to sit here quietly and watch Jen. She's on the tweeters. The tweeters.
That actual what?
Good morning, everybody. Hello.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody.
Jen
like,
told me
Matt,
not to go
why don't
live.
we just give it like a little bit extra time since we just, it's fine. It's fine though. Excuse me.
Uh-oh. People. That's what they do on the Instagram, right? That's that one trend. What's up, everybody? October 28th, 2021. Happy birthday to my sister. The next in line. It's her birthday. She's not
Happy
a stream
birthday,
regular. She's
Matt's
never going to
sister.
hear this. But I'm just wishing her a happy birthday.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean we can't do it still. We should absolutely be celebratory.
This is the birthday song. It's really not too long. Hey!
Did it.
On the Formula One pre-race press conference with Daniel Ricciardo and the Dutchman. I will not speak his name. A 10-year-old girl asked for them to sing her happy birthday, and they did not. They only got through one verse, and they like alternated words. So it's like happy
Birthday
to
you.
Yeah.
Well, that was their first mistake.
And then he who shall not be named, who is evidently the most popular driver in Formula One, and I don't understand it. He stopped. He just totally just stopped doing it, like he was embarrassed. He gave me real 17-year-old kid vibes who
I mean, all Formula One drivers are 17-year-old kids, so here's the thing about Formula One, Matt. So like this documentary, all these drivers, right? Like now we have 3 seasons of these drivers, and they're sitting there talking about like maturing. Like get on this interview and be like, I was really young when I started driving, and now in this time I've really matured a lot as a driver, and I'm like, you're 22 now. You went from being 18 to 22 years old, so yep.
Yeppers. It's true though. That's what I want. If you think about it, if you stop and you're like, oh, okay, hey, so how these kids, because they are kids, a lot of them,
because they are kids,
they didn't have a normal childhood because of racing, right?
All they did was drive go-karts.
Several of them had extremely wealthy parents, and that, as we've seen culturally, I'm not trying to be insensitive, but as we've seen culturally, when you have a wealthy parent, a silver spoon type upbringing, you don't mature in the same ways as people who don't. Then they arrive on these high pressure situations when they're 16, 17 in Formula 2, Formula 3. And all of a sudden, 19, 20, 21, they're getting just thrust into stardom, fandom, right? It's kind of like the Britney Spears phenomenon, all the child actors.
Yeah, for sure.
Child musicians.
The boy band stuff. Yeah.
It's Taylor Swift. Listen, I love me some T Swift. I will not speak against her.
Don't speak ill of T Swifty on this stream.
I will not. But
it's not allowed to be a but after that, Matt.
She's a little immature. Yeah, I watched the the folklore cabin special on Disney Plus, and just remember being like, yeah, I mean, you've lived a life like this. It's different than ours, but and the pressures you've had to experience with and cope with, it's just different. So you're right.
In other news, that cabin was really nice, and I would go spend a weekend there.
Would you rather hang out with Taylor or Adam? It's Adam,
Levine?
right? Yeah, isn't it Adam?
Levine?
Yeah. Isn't that who produces all of her stuff from Bleachers? Isn't that his name, Adam?
I don't know.
Anyway. Let's talk about some other young actors, or at least people that are supposed to look like young actors.
So Coffee Drop, it's the last week to describe your week as a campy creature.
Describe your week as sorry.
As determined by me. How's your week been as described as a campy creature?
Hold on.
Also, good morning, Lurker. Good morning, Charity Board Gamer. Welcome to the stream.
What a soft open this time. I didn't even notice in chat you had dropped our coffee discussion. Describe
you're
my
so
week.
busy going live, you didn't even let chat get rolling. Like, let's go.
Your week as a campy creature. Let me go. Oh yeah, definitely the invader. The invader.
Okay.
Feel like I've had to. Oh wait, is that the best? Yeah, that's the best. The invader. There's been a lot of just things that have invaded my week. They just have come in and snatched it up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking Body Snatchers Invader.
Okay.
So won't describe other parts of my week.
I'm thinking about a creature that's like, what's the fastest creature of the creatures?
The fastest creature of the creatures.
The fastest of the creatures. I want to say it's like Demogorgon, but I also feel like it could be Blob. Because again, after that Blob watch, Blob seems like it's a slow creature, except like it goes from being in the doctor's office to being in the freaking movie theater across town in like 0 seconds flat. And you're just like, whoa. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like the kaiju, though, is the fastest creature. But to scale, it doesn't feel like the fastest. Well, yeah, because like it takes a step and it goes 100 yards or 200 yards or whatever.
Yeah. I felt like that might be too obvious, but maybe that's just the right call.
It's rearing its ugly head. It's ready to destroy.
I think that's the move. It's been a kaiju kind of week over here.
Love Thy Nerd coming in with the raid. Get Love that nerd, raid train going. Hype train.
Freight train, hype train.
All right, Love Thy Nerd, folks.
We're describing our weeks as campy creatures right now. Last week for the campy creature description when it's November.
Caffeine.
What will we describe them as? I don't know.
So wait, hold on. So there are a couple things. So Charity Board Gamer feels like a mummy wrapped up with so many things to do. I thought it was because it's getting a little bit cool. It's a little chilly outside.
Chilly. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And also because it's dark. Oh my gosh, last night it was dark outside at 6:10. It was just straight dark. And daylight savings coming, that means 5:10. 5:10.
Yep.
The blackness.
That time of year.
Please.
Rebecca and I are starting a thing. That's going to be some classes, some training that we're doing together for the next couple of Mondays. The training goes from 6 to 9. That's going to be so challenging just from that like dark perspective. Be like, wow, this didn't even start when it was light outside. This started when it was dark outside.
Yep. Oh, man, that just reminds me of the corporate days of going into the office before it was light and leaving the office after it was light. Good stuff. Bubba with a 9-month streak on subs.
Thanks for the sub. Thanks for the sub. Hey, Lurker said swamp creature. Having a swamp creature kind of week.
Just trying to drag them down. Is that what's going on, Lurker? Something's coming up, grabbing you and pulling you down. That's a baby. That's right. This is your... Well, hey, Bubba, do we really want to talk about this? It's actually not a baby. Do you want to do the math? Do you want to do the math on 40 weeks? 40 weeks to full term. How many months is that? Is it really 9 months? 40 winks.
I don't understand what the conversation is right now. Lurker's trying to drag me down with that tarantula comment, and I'm just letting you know, Lurker, I'm going to choose to ignore your little spider comment, because you might be right that spiders are the fastest of the creatures, but I refuse to be associated with spiders.
See, listen to that. That's the spiders crawling over your desk.
I don't like it.
Okay, what else? Who else?
Never putting this command in stream again.
Mine was the Invader. I had a small stomach bug at the beginning of the week, so the Invader. And then my wife got the stomach bug, and it was not small, and therefore, then she was the Invader.
Just making the rounds.
Making the rounds.
Well.
Not a fan of spiders, especially living in Hampton Roads. Okay, I don't know the Hampton Roads reference. Help me out, Charity Board Gamer. Help me out.
Yeah.
Also, Charity Board Gamer mentioned Extra Life. Charity Board Gamer,
Extra
are you
Life.
streaming an Extra Life stream soon? Let us know.
Oh, yeah. Got those holidays coming. Extra Life streams. I know that they do the rounds, which is awesome on Twitch. You know, I feel like maybe LTN does an Extra Life thing as well. So lots of people over here doing Extra Life streaming.
I'm gonna need an Extra Life. I'm gonna need an Extra Life this week.
Whoa, VA, Hampton Roads, Virginia. High concentration. Oh, Black Widow. Yeah, get out of here. Get out of here with that.
Jen's
that would
out.
Be a move. When I look at potential places to live, I'm like, what spiders inhabit this area? There are actually a lot of.
That's where you're going,
there's
Jen?
a lot of spiders around the house.
That's where you're going. You're like, please no spiders.
Whoa, can we just talk about and y'all can. I don't have a picture, so I'm outside blowing some leaves. Front steps. Get to the front steps because you need to blow the leaves off the front step, make it clean and not slippery and stuff for male people. And I'm like head down, blowing, not really paying attention. I go to step on the stairs and I look up and I'm like inches away from a giant spider web that is running across my stairs. I just had not seen it. But that's not all. On the spider web was maybe the largest spider that I had ever seen. No, it was like it was like this, Matt. I'm not kidding. Yep. I'm not joking. Very, very visible once I put my eyes on it, right? Wasn't visible and then all of a sudden was right there in front of my face. It was like bright red. I'd never seen a spider like that before, and I was like, I literally stood back, called Rebecca, who was in the house, and I was like, you have to come take care of this. I cannot continue to do this work until this is resolved.
The worst, so like spider webs, they're bad. It's like, okay, oh my gosh, there's a spider. They're trying to capture something. But honestly, walking through a spider web, that spider's scurrying off. What always freaks me out is when I'm walking, or I'm walking behind one of my kids or my wife or something, or and the spider drops down from a tree or something or a branch, and they boom, and you're like, no, you were trying to get me. That's what always is like, nope. Hard pass.
And I wanted to feel bad for this spider because they had clearly just captured a bug. Bug was being freshly wrapped. Huh?
And then you decided to end its life.
We did not end its life. Rebecca came out and did something super sophisticated where she grabbed the ends of the spider web and gently placed them back on the bush. And then wouldn't you know, Matt, a couple of days later, that freaking spider web was back. I was like, seriously? Get the picture. Move along.
Listen, it wanted that particular air travel path for the bugs. Is there a light on your porch? It wanted to put itself between the bugs and the light.
I don't understand. It's a shady area. Not a lot of sunlight over there. Whatever. So
Charity Board Gamer, feeling for you. I'm feeling for you. We were talking to Lauren and I were talking to a couple last week, and we were sharing that we were getting into camping with the kids, and they were sharing some of their favorite camping spots. And then they were like, oh yeah, there's this one place where we go, and it's right on the beach, and it's there's 100 yards between the campsites. It's amazing. And then they go, that you just have to stay out of the non-curated area, I'm trying to groomed areas, because they've got a black widow infestation. And I was like,
but the black widows aren't coming into the. Okay, that's not how that works.
it was the most helpful recommendation I've ever received, but it was a recommendation in the direction opposite of what they were. It's like, great, I will not check out camping
Ever.
here.
Just not going there.
My 2-year-old's going. It just, oh look, shrubbery. Yep, let's check it out.
Yeah, but and also just to like spiders don't recognize they're like, and this is our area where we stay, and we don't go in the groomed areas that are prepped for like okay. Charity Board Gamer called out live streaming is on the 6th, starting at 8 a.m. Woo. Is that a full day live stream? I bet it is, right? It's like a big marathon-y stream thing.
I'm going 24 hours. They're going overnight.
Yeah. Woo.
I don't know. Isn't that how Extra Life works? I feel like you.
So I have no idea. Well, I think some streams, some people like marathoning can happen in different sprints. How about snakes? Lurker coming in with the snake story. Non-disclosed snake family that lived in their house. Yikes.
I'm out.
Deuce.
Actually, I don't really mind snakes that much. I used to mind snakes. I used to mind spiders. There's something about just being the person that has to be responsible for them in a house full of small children and a wife who will not even smash a ant. Just like you just got to deal with them, right? You just have learned that they're not that big of a deal.
Like is offended by them, but will also not just like dispose of them.
No. Just doesn't even want to. She's like, don't. She just is like, I'm not going to kill the ants. It's not like a moral thing. She's like, I just don't want to, Sugar ants, you know about sugar ants? You smell them, they smell sweet. She won't even do that. All right, let's move on. Moving on. Also, Charity Board Gamer says they're going until midnight.
Yeah. And Shane Smith. I do not know Shane Smith, but I will for sure look up that since we've apparently turned a corner where we're just going to talk about spiders immediately after. I'm like, it would be great if we didn't talk about spiders. And then we did it for 5 minutes. So, hey.
Jen, I didn't have multi-stream. Hold on, I didn't have multi-stream chat up. So we might have gotten some Facebook chatting, chitty chat, and I didn't see it. Do you have it up today? I've got it up now.
You have it up now.
If knows the answer, then that's great.
I didn't have it up before. Okay. So if you have it up and you see anything. I don't know if it's giving you backwards data.
By the way, love thy nerd crew. If you're still around, hold on.
What?
Caffeine dropped their raid. They've got this raid emote emote that looks like the raid symbol from Destiny 2, and it's just like, oh, that's cool. I like that. I like that I knew what that was. I was in. You were raiding us, but also you were raiding my heart with how long it's been since I've played. There, it's back. Caffeine brought it back.
Doing it again.
Man, the Love Thy Nerd branded raid. I love it. Love it. Okay, we got a new question, an update. Let's do it. Let's talk about Caper Europe.
Let's do it. I thought we'd do. We don't. Sometimes we just get so excited about that entertainment we don't talk about what's going on with Keymaster. So we just posted an update, Caper Europe update, happening. What's the finger?
It's pointing to Caper Europe. It's very small. If you're watching on a phone right now, you're like, what is that mint green with metallic foiling?
Bubba was big into Destiny 2. Well, there it is then. That's how we know.
Hand of the ship sank. Yeah, lurker.
That's right.
Lurker. Calm thyself. We have warded off the kaijus of the ocean and the maelstroms and the canal blockage. We warded it all off.
This is like that book. Have we talked about that book, Matt? It's called Could Be Worse. I got this. It's a children's book. It's a children's picture book, and I got it from somebody as when I was a kid as I think it was a Valentine's Day present. It's from a family friend who's like a grandmother kind of figure. my life. And it sounds like the pessimist training guide. Yeah, and I think it is that. So so your ship sank comment is like, and that's how the book goes. So it's just like, I start off waking up, and I missed my alarm, and then the milk was bad and I couldn't have my cereal, and that, like it's an and it like just slowly snowballs into this totally ridiculous, and the guy ends up, I think, meeting dragons or something. He just like, it's very fantastical. And, and that's kind of how that's kind of my kaiju week. But the boat didn't sink.
I'm glad the boat didn't sink, Jen.
Boat didn't sink.
So stuff's on boats, so that's the update.
Yeah.
It's everything that's getting on a boat is on a boat. It's on a boat. It's on a boat.
It's on a boat. It's on a boat. So this Kickstarter is, we're getting there. We are nearing the 10-yard line.
The 10-yard line? You think fulfillment's the 10-yard line?
I think it is.
By fulfillment, you mean like waiting in line for fulfillment is the 10-yard line? Or
I think like when we get to like when the boats get to port, that's like the 10-yard line. It's
like first and goal. So what you're saying is when when it's our turn in the line, what is that? No, I feel like the boats leaving China is like the 20-yard line. You're in the red zone. Okay, you're in the red zone.
Yeah.
But you need to get to that goal line. Okay? You need to get to the 10-yard, so you've got first and goal. First and goal is when fulfillment starts.
So port's the 10-yard line. Port is other port, regional port is first and goal.
Jen's job gets real hard once boxes start arriving. I'll agree with the 10-yard. Okay. Jen's an expert. This is her 4th Kickstarter.
Is it? Is that the number of Kickstarters we've done together?
Second edition. Parks.
Yep.
Parks Nightfall Memories. Caper Europe.
Yep. It is. Jen, anyways, I'm super excited. I feel like it's closing in. Just so y'all know, I'm also waiting for my copy of Caper Europe. I'm ready for it, so I'm rooting for it. So that's happening. That was an update. We got confirmation this past week that all of the boats did in fact leave China. We are okay.
We got it. Cool. They left China.
Do you want to become famous though, Matt?
No, I don't.
And we got some so the products on the American side are the U.S. Based manufactured products, which are t-shirts and the playing cards, yep, and the postcards are almost done. What's left on that?
Well, Jen, why don't you show them some playing cards? Lurker's here. This is what Lurker wants.
It's probably not correct to do in front. I do it like that, so it's not in front of my.
Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh my gosh!
Here we go. So what's missing on the playing cards?
They arrived without a seal, so that's good.
Right here.
That's good.
The stamp seal that covers the lid keeps it in place until it gets to you. Is not there. And so they're doing that, and then everything will be done. And so the difference is U.S. based products, they get air shipped to regions. So they get truck shipped to the U.S. manufacturer or warehouse, which is QML. But everywhere else, they get air shipped, which is super fast compared to a boat. So even though they haven't left the U.S. yet, that is not like, oh man, there's going to be this huge delay on those. It's like, no, boats take a long time, so it's okay.
It's okay. We're going to make it. Yeah. Yes, Lurker, Clove Street Press. They did the tuck on this one, and we are thrilled with them.
Check them out.
We had a...
It's our cover
and what a year. 2021.
Mastermind.
Those are looking good.
Joker hanging out on top of a safe.
I can't describe how much better it was. I can describe. It was way better working with Clove Street on the Tuck than working directly with USPCC. We had to source like 8 different card stocks for the Tuck box because stuff just kept going out of stock and we couldn't find the color that matched. Whew! Whew! All right,
exciting.
But look at these cards.
Wait.
It's a 3-color screen print process or spot color process. So
that
we didn't use any of the
aces,
base plates.
So nice.
Lurker, I agree. USPCC tucks are fine. Here's the thing: it's the same thing as Clove Street. They're just sourcing paper, and it's really about the paper quality that they're sourcing. Just USPCC doesn't give you a lot of optionality on sourcing the paper.
This part.
And it's like, hey, we've sent them papers before and been like, hey, USPCC, this is the paper we want. They're like, we won't source that. It won't fit our machines. It's like, what?
There's even writing down in there. Once you take the cards out, down in there,
there's some.
This is like the box that Paul Atreides puts his hand in during the Gom Jabbar. There's writing in there. It's writing in there back there.
So anyway, we're waiting on the seals for that. Y'all, it's just a 2021 thing, right? Everything. Sourcing is just hard. I'm feeling real bad for first-time creators because we're not first-time creators, and it was still a struggle to stay on top of things, to find things, to pivot, and to still meet our quality expectations with what we. Oh, whew. Yeah, I agree, Lurker. Yeah. I'm with you.
Like, how many iterations do we go through for the T-shirts, Matt?
Y'all want to talk about shirt sourcing?
Next time, pretty soon, we're gonna get to show off those T-shirts via live stream and a Kickstarter update. That's pretty exciting.
Mine's gonna be here. Mine's gonna be here on Saturday, Jen.
Did you make me an order? Did you?
No,
did you
make you an order? You go make
Why
yourself
didn't
an
you
order.
make me an order when you were there? So what you're saying is when you went and made your order and you were in the system, you didn't just make mine too?
I don't have your address memorized.
Wow. Cool, Matt.
Lurker coming in with the answer to the question to Charity Board Gamer, Campy Creatures, and Caper, both illustrated by Josh Emmerich.
Yep. Yeah. So the playing cards are Hellcats USA. So they're a different illustrator, different designer, but equally.
It's a beautiful.
So good.
Y'all, we can't wait for y'all to get these.
Yeah. So
super stoked.
Kickstarter, which has been, the last few months of it's just been a 2021 like kind of extra. Everything's been extra. It's been extra for Matt when he's doing all the sourcing for this stuff. And we feel it's extra for everybody. So we're really excited that's like really feels like it's rounding a corner. Literally everything else that has to get done is totally out of our hands and is just dependent on the transportation system, which is terrifying a little bit, but it's going to happen, and we're really excited.
Yep.
For it to be almost out. And with that wrapping up, we've been doing some development work. I feel like we're getting ready for holiday, ramping up for holiday. We have a new website in the works that we haven't really even talked about, Matt. And we're in a development cycle, which is it's a fun place to be.
It's been a minute. We're playtesting many things many times per week.
We're playtesting stuff.
That's what kind of this, like Jen's talking about, the cycle of, small company. There's only 4 of us. So, when there's work to do, we don't get the playtesting in or the development time in when we've got other production work. So now we're back into a cycle where we're doing production and development work on 1, 2, 3, 4 titles right now. Last update said fancy
some other types of products.
Yeah.
We've got games that we're working on and some other design stuff that's super exciting that one of the things that we are working on is being able to work with artists. Again, part of this, we're a small company, and so our cycle of how many games that we just have capacity to release, make sure that it's we're doing the best job that we can, that everything's meeting our standards, is just small. That means our annual releases there won't be a whole bunch of them every year. But there are other products, smaller products or different products that just have a different development timeline that we can try to look at or can explore, that allow us to work with illustrators that we really want to work with, who are excited to work with us, that doesn't involve that same time frame, that same development cycle or production cycle that a full-blown game does. And I think that's going to define a little bit of the end of the year. We'll start talking about that for PAX Unplugged, and it's going to define a decent amount of 2022, and that's pretty exciting too.
Yeah, I'm super stoked. We got 2 new artists we're working with. Excited to show them off, highlight them.
Yeah.
New designer,
yep.
Some familiar designers, some in-house stuff. Oh, y'all, you're not even ready. 2022 is going to be
nope.
Fantastic.
Not ready.
But we still have to get through 2 more months to get there. So
yeah.
We got a mountain to climb. Bloodborne, tell us all the things. We will someday, but not today. We'll just tell you that it's coming and it's fun and we're excited. Also, Charity Board Game asked.
Yeah.
What is the game you recommend picking up for the holidays with the shipping craziness? I think this is an interesting, maybe unpopular opinion here. No, maybe it's not unpopular. Here we go. With the shipping craziness, walk into a store and buy something. Then you don't have to worry about the shipping craziness. Although you kind of still do because out of stocks. But listen, if you haven't picked up the
Crew yet, have you been in Target recently, Matt? It's a little bit slim pickings over there.
Walk into Target and pick up the Crew. That's what I got for you.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like a universal. I don't know. I feel, and maybe I'm just wrong. I've been wrong before, just once. It's an easy go-to Christmas gift. Right price point.
Or even if it's not it could be a Christmas gift, but also just like if you've got small gatherings coming for like Thanksgiving or Christmas or Hanukkah or any of those things, right? The Crew isn't really easy to get to the table because it's trick taking and it just hones in on like, here's this thing that you know and here's a twist. It's really easy to like get into. Like the first session is really simplified of the campaign, right? That's a really simplified goal set. So it's really easy to be like, hey, this is just trick taking with a twist, and then let's go.
We changed sides on the screen, Legends. That's awesome. I don't know. It just happened.
Did we?
Yeah, evidently.
Oh, this was because we were playing around with it, and then things ended up in different places.
Yeah, so the Crew,
also, hello, Legends. Welcome. How's it going?
I think the Crew's would continue to be my recommendation for holiday. I mean, then it's just because then it's all the things. I would say the things that have come out in the last 18 months that I'm excited about are all a bit heavier. I haven't had a good upper lightweight, lower midweight game come out that really feels like the right thing to pick up for holidays.
Yeah.
So I'm having to go back to the well. The well. Number 9.
You know what I just played recently at a game get together was Silver and Gold. Pandasaurus' Silver and Gold, which is Phil Walker Harding game. Was a lot of fun. Super fast. We almost just like went out and bought it. Like if I was in Target, there'd be 2 things. Rebecca played the game at a separate thing, and she was like, I think I want this. So, like those 2 are some Target buys, some Target pickups for us that are like, the next time we're at Target, we're probably going to grab one of them. Love Silver and Gold. Yeah, you know what? I don't know why I was, I don't know why I was ignoring it, but I was really glad that somebody taught me the game. And I was like, wow, that was really easy and thinking great. I was super engaged by it. Legends just bought Campy Creatures, but still need to play it. Hey, first, thanks for picking up Campy Creatures. And no time like this week to play it.
Wait,
Candy
Lurker's got all the
Crush is
things.
totally not just a game that you play in October, though. You can play it anytime. Right, Matt?
You can play it anytime. I do. I think that it's my most played in-person Keymaster game this year.
Love Campy Creatures.
Yeah. We got so many things. So one, Lurker, is Crew 2 widely available yet? Yes, it's in stock on Amazon. Therefore, I will call it widely available.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. It's Amazon.com.
Do you know
so
if
they've got.
Is it at Target as well, or just base game is at Target?
I gotta feel like the Target would just go base game. I'm not sure Target really cares to add the second one. It's like they've got Azul. They're not going to add some Pavilion. It's like
I feel like that game's got like. Well, they're not exploding kitten volume. Maybe not exploding kitten volume sales, but like that's just an example of a game that's got all the things available at Target.
Let's see. Target. The Crew right now at Target is $8.39. Shut the front door.
What?
$8.39 on sale, 20% off. Are they doing a 20% off board games this week? Is that what's happening?
The Crew Wet Edition. Oh my gosh.
Somehow the Parks is at $44.49. I don't know why.
You know what? You know what's getting announced soon?
What?
The Southern Trilogy. From Shem Phelps, not Phillips. Shem Phelps and Garfield Games. If you didn't see that, if you're a fan of the North Seas games, if you're a fan of the Architect series,
he's making a new world.
They announced that they will be announcing on Monday/Sunday because they're in New Zealand, and therefore time is different. Time flows differently there. That announcement's coming. I'm very excited to. It sounds like they're going to announce the whole trilogy together.
Is this really, the Circadians Chaos Orders that we were talking about?
Yeah, but not Circadians because that's different.
That's different. They've got like two things going on?
Yeah, Circadians might have an expansion right now, but they are announcing their like South series. Like we had the North Seas series, now we have the South something. They were like something South something is how they
That's what they did, something South something.
Excellent. Okay. something South something.
Man, because I see it. Something's of the South something. Something of the South something. All cool box covers will be revealed live. Don't miss the South Trilogy announcement video. Shem and Sam McDonald doing it. That's going to be Sunday at 6 Eastern. 6 p.m. Eastern.
Is it? Is that when it is? Thanks, Matt.
Yeah, but they're also doing like they're doing that right in the middle of. They've got 2 weeks to go on this Kickstarter.
They have a Kickstarter happening right now. Yeah.
Sorry guys, I don't have it up. I should totally have a.
Yeah, your screen scrolling, your internet scrolling, and not sharing.
It's not showing everybody. There's some sort of Target deal going on. Okay, wait. So the Lurker, 1, it's widely available. 2, Target did their buy 2 get 1. I think 2 or 3 weeks ago. I don't think that there's another one coming before the end of the year. I think they're just going to start through their holiday promotion stuff. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm pretty sure buy 2 get 1 already happened.
You think that we would know? But we don't.
I mean, they don't tell us. We just find out on our own.
Yep.
Let's see.
It's weird because we're talking about like Northwest and the Garfield games, but then they're like stocking stuffer. I'm like, well, those are a little big for stocking stuffers, and I realize you're talking about something else. But that's just how chat works sometimes.
That's how chat worked. Okay, hold on. There were some other things I wanted to answer. Legends played Cascadia, World of Warcraft Pandemic, the Loop, and Wild Space. So got 2 Pandasaurus games. One, I want to know how Wrath of the Lich King Pandemic is. You got
Ditto.
Like I need you to rank your 4 plays, Legend. I need you to rank your 4 plays for me, because none of these things are like on the list for me. But I could see my like Wrath of the Lich King was my World of Warcraft heyday. I guess Cataclysm after.
He's thinking about it. He's not thinking about it.
I don't know what it would replace on my shelf right now is the problem, but I'd be curious. I could be convinced. Charity Board Gamers playing Similo Spookies tonight as a family. Not familiar with that. About to be Googling it.
By yourself?
Lurker, I
You
left
still
my
can't
copy of
see
the
it.
crew at my parents', so I can easily justify the crew wet edition. Good. Target's doing a 25% off thing right now. Got it.
And then
Lurker goes, I
ultimately,
suddenly have the urge to buy the crew for everyone I know. It's a good value at $20 for 8. I need multiple. Everything I'm seeing online makes it look like it's 15 right now. Like
so where did you get
the
8 from?
8 was from Target. It's $8 at Target right now. I should actually just snag up like 4 or 5 of them.
Cascadia is gold from Flat Out, producing some good stuff right now. Doesn't Flat Out also has Verdant on Kickstarter? Another lovely plant game that just looks pretty and soothing and super chill, right? I think that may be coming to a close soon, but I'm pretty sure there's still a couple days on Kickstarter left.
Bloodborne. Speaking of pandemic, would Keymaster ever consider doing a co-op? Hey, guess what? We have 2 failed development stories on co-op games, but we have another one in the works. We're going to get it right this time. Co-op games are hard, y'all. They are legit difficult. Yeah, they're just very complex. They're very complex. We talked about it before. Co-op games, from a balance perspective, don't have intrinsic player balance. So the idea that like in a board game, if there's an overpowered card, in theory, everyone has access to that overpowered card, and you have people working against other people to bring it back into balance, right? Well, when you balance a co-op game versus a automa versus a whatever the situation is, the trouble, you don't have that. And since so many of our games are pretty tight and really require a good player-to-player feedback loop, we've struggled in our first 2 attempts at co-op.
Yeah, interacting with that board and having that board be as engaging at providing that similar feedback or feedback that's giving everybody interesting options on their turn or dynamic options on their turn is very, very challenging.
Oh wait, hold on. Now
we've got that thing, but just so everybody sees, we're gonna do a new segment. Also, it's kind of already happening right now, kind of naturally, but we'll just I'll lean into it and mention it of a live Q&A. So if you have any questions for us, we have I think one or two questions over on from our call out over on Twitter. And we'll bring that up and answer them. If you got any questions for us, drop them in chat and we'll answer them right now.
Lurker asks, does anyone do a rotating game exchange with their group? Matt's comments of clearing space made me wonder. Lurker, I own 90% of the games that my group plays. And my rotation is I don't bring new games onto my shelf without getting rid of an old game. And by get rid of, I don't think I can show it off. I just have a stack over there. You've seen it before.
Means just put them off to the side and do nothing with them because
I'm just not into the going to a con and doing the math trade or selling things. I just give them to my other friends. I've got other groups of friends, and I have a stack of
here's the thing, Matt. If that were true, that pile would be a little bit smaller than it is right now.
Well, that's just because I keep taking things off the shelf and adding it. I had people take games from me a month ago, maybe 2 months, maybe 3 months ago. Okay, maybe it's been there a long time. Maybe I want to keep Pan Am on the shelf. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm finally going to play it. Probably not, but maybe. I do need to sell
Legends gave us the order. Said the Loop, Wrath, Cascadia, and then Wild Space. The Loop I really enjoyed. The Cube Tower, time travel theme, co-op, slight deck building. There's a lot of things going on in the Loop. A lot of things happening there.
But they also said that Wrath of the Lich King is their favorite pandemic, right?
Ooh, they did.
It has
quest
quests instead of diseases. Characters have
quest.
hit points. You have to fight ghouls, and so it sounds like a pretty good implementation thematically.
Also sounds like a really fresh implementation. Now I'm super intrigued and distracted. Charity Board, let's go back up. Charity Board Gamer, what has been a game this year that surprised you and then you immediately bought a copy? What's been a game that surprised and immediately bought a copy?
Oh, that I've played and then bought.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't surprise me. I don't know. But Beyond the Sun, I played on Board Game Arena and immediately went out and bought it.
That's good. Yeah, that's a good call out for you.
I did that with Beyond the Sun and Lost Ruin of Arnak. I played both of them on Board Game Arena at the same time, and was like, "Holy moly, I've been missing this," and snagged them both up.
I think it might actually be Silver and Gold that was just mentioned. I feel like most of my purchases have been on Kickstarter this year, which means I haven't seen any of them yet because everybody's just in line for boats.
All the boats.
For boats. But yeah, I think it might be Silver and Gold, even though I don't have it yet. Like, again, next time we're at Target, we would probably just pick it up because I enjoyed it a bunch. What's another one? What's the main co-op downfall you want to try to avoid?
Oh, yeah. The main downfall. Lack of fun. I don't want a puzzle. I don't want to make a puzzle. I don't think anybody on our team wants to make a puzzle.
There's definitely like pivotal development moments for us where like we all definitively say, "Hey, that was fun." Like a game that's in development now that we'll probably be announcing right at the beginning of the new year. It was kind of like an instant that was fun, and like those are like yes moments for Keymaster in terms of like moving forward with the product, as opposed to like there were criticisms of that game afterwards, but there was also that moment which was super important, which is kind of non-quantifiable, right? That's totally like just a qualitative statement that it's just kind of a gut thing.
If you're sitting in a co-op game and there's this really fun thing you can do, but instead you're choosing the optimal play, then I don't think that we've designed the right co-op game for our brand. And we just kept running into that situation, right? It's like, well, this is clearly the best move. Which Pandemic, because it's so open and wide, I don't get that. It is still a puzzle, but it also doesn't present you with a lot of fun things. You know, Pandemic's a puzzle. That's why they've got a world championship, and you're trying to solve the puzzle.
Yeah.
Which is great. That's great. It's just not what I want to make.
Yep. Charity Board Gamer says, "What's the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow? Unladen swallow.
Is that in Wingspan? Can I go find that information on?
This is a what's it called joke. That's a
dad joke.
No, it's not a dad joke. It's a what's that British knights King Arthur movie series? Monty Python. Thank you, Lurker. Thank you. Appreciate you. So I'm pretty sure it's a Monty Python joke. I don't know the answer to it though. While Matt looks that up for us on the internet.
Oh no, I saw. I was looking at something else.
You were like, oh, TV show. Was it a TV show? I thought Monty Python. No, Monty Python's a movie.
Well, Monty Python is a creator who had multiple different creations.
No.
Monty Python's. You know, that's
really.
That's
Wow.
Monty Python is.
You know what? World exploded right now. That's what Monty Python and the Quest for the Holy Grail is a movie.
Right, but there's also Monty Python's Flying Circus. There's Monty Python's what's the life one? Oh my gosh, Jen, here we go. We're going deep.
Those are all movies. They're not all movies. We're saying that some of those are.
Monty Python is
a. Yeah. I've heard of all of these things. I just assumed it was a movie series.
Surreal
now you're telling me that Monty Python is actually a creator.
Well, it's a troupe.
Well, there. You know what? There goes the rest of my day.
Life of Brian, Meaning of Life. They're all comedies that the troupe put on. Holy Grail, Life of Brian, Meaning of Life. Flying Circus, which was on BBC in 1969.
And then the movies. Wow. Just didn't know. I didn't know that that's what I thought. I don't know what I thought Monty Python was. I thought it was just a name, I think.
Guys, every time I think of 1969, I gotta be honest, I think of Even Stevens in the episode about 1969. We went to the moon in 1969, not 1970, but 1 year sooner.
I've heard of that.
I don't know. 1969 is one of those watershed years in American history. I remember spending like 2 weeks on it in high school and not enjoying most of those 2 weeks.
Lurker mentioned Many Worlds Tavern made the loop look pretty great. But I just want to call out that with that Many Worlds Tavern reference, that I am drinking another of the instant coffees, the great old one instant from Many Worlds. Y'all.
I'm still just electric sleep.
This instant coffee is really good, and I'm pretty hooked on it for the foreseeable second cup future right now. It's incredibly tasty. This is an unpaid advertisement for it. I don't even know if it's available on their site right now. I don't know if it's available yet, but it's very good, and I highly recommend.
Oh, I've got a daughter showing up in the stream. Hello, Millie. Say hi to all the streamers out there. Hi. Well, they can only see your hand. Are you getting paper? Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah, Lurker, sweet is a great way. It is a little bit sweet, and I think that's a great way to describe it. That just that hint of sweetness in the back just makes it really tasty.
Jen.
What?
Listen, we haven't been here in 2 weeks. It's 10:54. I thought we were going to play a board game. It's definitely not happening. But also, we've gone 55 minutes, and we have not talked about a single movie. And I'm not sure.
Let's
this
go.
is
Okay,
what a stream. This is just something else. Y'all are great.
Here we go.
Y'all are great.
It's happening.
Let's be honest. Is there anything?
Oh, but wait. But there was one more that came in on the actual Twitter question. If you could go back, and this is actually from Many Worlds Tavern as well, if you could go back in time and experience a game for the first time again, which one would you pick?
Wait. Is this? It's a board. I think we should probably say board game. Yeah. I'm not a first-time gamer. You know, like, I can't think of a game that doesn't get better the second time. Okay, I got it.
Okay.
Outer Rim by Fantasy Flight Games, Star Wars Outer Rim.
Okay.
Is an amazing one-time play. The second time you play, you're like, oh, I'm doing all the same things again. This is slightly boring. Hashtag, let's get that expansion. Star Wars Outer Rim.
So I know Charity. See you later. Thanks for joining the stream. Thanks for joining the conversation. We'll see you next time.
I don't know.
So Outer Rim.
Outer Rim. A game that's still on my shelf.
It's a game that has not made it to the pile of non-shelved games for Matt. All right. What is a game? So I'm thinking about this in the context of like, I felt so inspired to continue playing it. I was excited to continue playing it. Um, and I just had like, there was like a little bit of awakening moment. I don't know. It's like an awakening, epiphany, awakening, whatever. Feeling is kind of how is my approach to this. And I think the answer for me is Vast the Crystal Caverns, later games Vast the Crystal Caverns, which was like a truly deep, rich, asymmetric experience. Obviously, now we have the root of the world.
I didn't get that. Could you try?
And Siri randomly going off. But Vast was, I love the theme of Vast a lot, and that game was just felt really homegrown and I really enjoyed that experience. I remember playing it for the first time and Rebecca and I both being like, wow, what did we just play, and being super excited to dive back in. So I think that's the one for me.
It's great. Oh wait, I got a good one though. Actually, I think I got a good one. Y'all, I would play Parks for the first time again. Because I've played a lot of Parks. And I remember sitting around playing Parks with my game group for the first time, and us all stopping and looking at each other and being like, y'all, this is really good. And that sense of excitement, I want to relive that again.
Yeah. That's a good one.
All right. Now it's time for
DUNE. Yo, this is just a preface. I'm not sure that we're going to be able to control ourselves here. So, like, legitimately, this is not a spoiler-free zone. We'll just say, like, quickly, some highlights, because then we're just going to get into DUNE life. Some highlights here are Lightyear, the first trailer for Lightyear, which was a movie I didn't even realize was coming out because apparently I don't pay attention. Dropped yesterday, and it's a really great trailer. I'm very intrigued. I'm super intrigued, but they put David Bowie in the trailer, and that's enough for me, really. I'm there, you know. So we have Lightyear, the first Lightyear trailer, and Critical Role has officially in the past 2 weeks since we have not been here. Critical Role season 3 has started on a new set, looking mighty fine. And we're pretty excited for that too.
Have you finished it, Jen? I finished it last night, the first episode.
I have not. It's I have not. We'll just say I have not.
Sam delivers one very inappropriate joke, which I literally rewatched it 7 or 8 times just to watch every single person's reaction to it. Also, he has an awesome moment where he just throws back. He just throws back to the campaign too, and it's awesome. And everybody, there's a complete rabbit trail that happens. It's great. So that, I mean, listen, yeah. So yeah, Lightyear, that's great. That's a great one. 2, I agree. Critical Role, I'm excited. I did not finish season 2 because the pandemic just shut down my desire to keep up with them in season 2, and I've tried to get back onto it. I just can't, which sucks because I invested how many hours? 400 hours in the first.
So it's a lot of hours to just decide that you don't want a resolution to that.
But I just wanted to say I have gone on a entertainment I don't know what you call it, tear. Ever since our spooky movie conversation, I've had a couple other movie conversations, and it resulted in me watching a couple of movies that are not normal for me. I watched Gone Girl and I watched Prisoners.
From you, doing a lot of work over there.
I know. I gave Gone Girl 3.5. It's probably my least favorite Fincher movie I've seen so far. On Letterboxd,
okay.
3.5. It's fine. Prisoners. Yeah. That was definitely from Denis Villeneuve. He, the director of Dune, did Prisoners. And I've just been reading and thinking a lot about how he is a director that's all about identity.
You also rewatched Arrival.
I rewatched Arrival. Yep, rewatched Arrival. That's right, because that's 2 weeks. I rewatched Arrival, which is another Denny movie, and I watched because I watched Sicario like a month ago, so I didn't rewatch that. I watched Sicario a month ago, watched Arrival, watched Prisoners, and Dune. So I've watched 4 Denny movies this month. In the last month. Whew! That guy, he is speaking to me as an actor, right? Nolan plays with my mind. Denny plays with my sense of self-identity.
Yeah, I think before Blade Runner, Arrival was my first Denny movie. Pretty sure, because I have not watched Prisoners.
So good.
And so that movie, so good. I went and saw Arrival with Rebecca and my mom, who both didn't like. They walked out and were like, not like viscerally opposed to it, but just were like, no, I don't agree with that. And I was like, you and I had completely different reactions to that movie.
Oh, man, great movie. Fantastic.
Walked away with a lot of different feelings. Got it. I really like Arrival.
So all that to say, I bring it up. We've had some fun times watching movies. Also watched Silence, another movie about identity.
Did you finish it, Matt?
I finished it. I finished that last night.
Yeah.
But I bring it up because Dune is a movie about identity. It's a book about identity. Really, what's our place on the planet? What's the situation that we are living in, walking in? How are we dealing with really
how do we choose to live,
resources?
Right. Yeah.
And do we become
choosing to live in relationship with the earth?
Yeah. And each other, right?
And each other.
How to not vilify other people. And you'll see this in part 2. Okay, hey, by the way, if you didn't know, this is Dune part 1.
Confirmed. Part 2 is confirmed officially yesterday.
Yep. So part 2 is coming. It's awesome. It's great. I'm excited. Mm-hmm. I think Denny had said the whole time that it's coming. It's contractually. He's like, I've got a contract that says that.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know what was. I was like, isn't that yes, right? Is that news? That was news. Okay.
I mean, it could have flopped.
Could have.
Oh yeah, no, Caffeine. They have not shot a single shot for Dune Part 2. I mean, they might have something left over that they want to use.
Technically, I was going to say, there are some dream sequences that are theoretically their future sight things.
I don't think he's going to do that. I don't think any of the dreams so far have actually had the one dream where Duncan's on the floor, dead. Where she turns around at the end. Oh, that's true. So we got 2. All right.
The dream sequence so that you've got the burning dream sequence, which is reminiscent of the actual destruction that happens with the war, and the blood knife.
Okay, that's fine. That's fair.
But they could reshoot it. He could totally reshoot those things. I don't know if he will.
I'm assuming everybody's signed on to do Dune 2, right? I mean, like, people want to work with Denny. From what I understand, he's a pleasure to work with. So I'm assuming everybody's coming back. Anyway, all right, listen.
Yeah.
All right, so Dune. Jen, before we go in, give me out of 5 stars, give me your star rating of Dune.
Out of 5 stars, I give Dune. This is like nothing gets 5 stars, right? So it's like 4.5 stars or 4 stars, because what is a half star?
You gotta do halves. I'm going by letterbox here. You can't do a 0.2. You have to do it's either a 4 or a 4.5. It's a 3.5 or a 4. It's a 3 or 3.5.
Yeah. So I think it's 4.5 because no things are perfect, and then he even talks about in interviews that some things he feels are super successful and some things aren't. And there's I'll give it I'll do 4, because I think there's a lot of work ahead. It's gonna be 4. I'm gonna hold off and restrict myself. Matt, what's your star rating?
I think 4, solid 4. Not even a question. It's not a 4.5, and I don't think that's Denny's fault. Like, if you were to rate it on Denny's execution, I give a 5. Mm-hmm. Story, I give a 3.5. Because Paul, this is the thing. Paul is just not an interesting character. I don't think he's interesting at all. They took out all the interesting characters and they just trimmed it. They were like, oh, this is the fat. Let's trim this. I was like, well, that's where you get the flavor, y'all. You don't trim the fat because that's where you get the flavor.
Mm-hmm.
Got to leave enough fat in there to.
And some of those trim. So one of the things, again, this is like in acting, I would give. I think I would give acting a 5. I didn't see any weak links, honestly, in anything from an acting perspective. So, yeah.
I think Rebecca Ferguson absolutely destroyed in a good way the role of Jessica. I think Timothy was great. Again, like, what a cool actor that you can have someone who's in their late 20s and look like he's 17. It's pretty great.
Yeah. Just because Paul, Timothy's acting and the relationship between that and Paul being, whether you think Paul is an interesting character or not, are just two different things.
Yep, absolutely.
There. Timothy executing on direction was excellent. I think it's just coming off of Little Women, just something else that I saw that I really enjoyed him for a small part in. His small part in is just very good.
Yeah. He did a great job. The relationship, Oscar, I think this is why it's such a team effort. I think this is not a situation like we had in Star Wars with Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor, where it's like one is really performing well within the role and the other one's not, and so it kind of feels like it's flat. I think everyone in their solo scenes and their scenes together were just it was
really understand themselves as an ensemble. They understood the collective work that they were doing, and yeah, for sure.
So I agree. Acting great, execution again. I think the cinematography, the attention to detail, the bigness of it. I saw it in IMAX. Jen still hasn't seen it in IMAX. She just saw it on her big screen. The immersion of the detail and the slow. I think the pace. People have talked about the pace. I think it's probably one of the best paced movies out there right now. Even at its 2.5 hours, like, just every shot felt immersive.
Coming off and just pacing wise, coming off of James Bond, right? The other 2.5 hour movie that's available right now. Pacing in this is much better. Yeah. Just the moment from moment, as it relates to the story, and like just having a director who has this, like, just the story coming out of a director and being like, this is my passion project and this is this thing that I'm leading with, as opposed to somebody being like coming in as a director and being like, this is really somebody else's project and I'm here because like they just need to push it out the door. That's really what happened with James Bond. And it shows. Yeah. Not because there aren't really cool things in the James Bond movie, but it just shows, compared to Skyfall and Mendes coming in and being like, power couple. When you have a great story, which Dune is just a great story. Yeah, we're not talking about Skyfall right now. It's just a reference.
Let's see. So, have you seen the original movie?
Yes. Have you?
I have. Many times. I love it. I think it's great. I think it's absolutely just a joyride.
Great tweet from yesterday is Gail Simone saying Sting totally underrated in the original. It's not wrong.
Yep.
There are good moments. Just so of its time.
I think one of the reasons this movie is a 4 for me, because I it's like one of those things. This is an amazing adaptation. I think Blood Boar brought it up. Like, their comment was that this suffers from not being able to be inside people's heads. I think that the actors did a pretty good job. I think the script, what they did, they didn't try to present these complexities that are going on too much. Like I think we get it. I had the benefit, or maybe it was a drawback. But I guess I watched it with my dad, and he had never read the books or seen the movie. I didn't find this out until 2 minutes before, like literally like the last preview. I was like, you've read Dune, right? He's like, no, I have no idea what's going on. And so he went in totally blind, and I got to talk to him about that. Whereas, I've read the books 3 times, seen the old movie a handful of times. So, I kind of had this, like, there's other things going on, and I'm getting the complexities. I don't think that it suffered to my dad, like that we weren't seeing inside people's heads. I think he got it. He understood what they were trying to communicate and all the complexities.
Perspective. Perspective, right? Yeah. Like there was a really clear, on a really simple level, right? Because the movie wasn't trying to do anything other than be from Paul's perspective.
Yeah.
In terms of that if we had to name one simple thing in the movie, it's that.
I was trying to think back. Denny has a, I don't know what you call it, a characteristic. I don't know, a habit of really taking one character and just you follow that character through the whole movie from start to finish. This movie did see a couple more jumps to different places. Still feel I'm trying to put myself back in it. Still feel like it was on Paul 90% of the time. More?
Yeah, the only time it leaves Paul is when the plot would really suffer from you not seeing something going on outside the room where Paul is.
The Baron Harkonnen scenes, right?
Right. Obviously, like if you don't have, and if you don't learn any of the intention behind the things that they are doing, then that's just classic plot movie, entertainment plot thing, storytelling plot. You need some exposition on the antagonist.
So it follows.
So here's the thing. So like Denny does, and totally recommend this. He does an interview with Vanity Fair, a video interview. You can find it on YouTube. He goes into he goes into the scene where he's with the All Mother and
the Reverend Mother.
Sorry, the Reverend Mother. Thank you. Where's All Mother from? Where did I get that from?
No idea.
Now? Okay, great, cool.
The All thing is in
Catholicism. That's where I got it from. So he goes into that scene. He has a one-on-one scene, and it's the Ganjabar scene. So it's when he's put to the kind of this ultimate test thing. He breaks down that scene, and he talks about a lot. Like he breaks down all of the nuance of the scene, and there's that scene is perfection. It's so well done. The choices that he made in that scene are just so intentional and so spot on for what I think it needed to convey, and just being inside people's heads. There's no CGI in that scene. But what's interesting to listen to is that his description of how the setting plays into it does a lot of work describing the landscape, describing the time period, describing all these things that are exposition in the book that we hear about from Herbert's voice, not necessarily Paul's voice, but Herbert's voice, setting this landscape for us. We have the benefit of that being spelt out in the book. In the movie, it's very visual, and movies are visual, and there's a subconscious thing that people who haven't read the book probably get to a certain extent, but there's also a lot of nuance that's incredibly important. So for example, they never intimately describe that in Dune, in the time period of Dune, there are no more computers. We see everything being rustic and ancient and old looking, in spite of its newness. We definitely get that visually, but it's never explicitly described. And that's very important. And it ties into some other super important characters that are considered really minor characters in the story. The Mentats, for the purpose of the movie, are incredibly minor supporting characters, but are also very, very important. And that's a little bit lost
Yeah.
And so in this effort to reduce and be concise with the dialogue, with the script, they put a lot of information in the setting. And I don't know that everybody is used to that much information being in the setting. I think the set dressers and set designers did an incredible job.
I agree.
But that's not going to be, I think that's going to be something that goes over people's heads a little bit if they haven't read Dune.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. That scene really kind of inspired me to, when I watched this on my second rewatch, which I'll probably get in this weekend, was just to pay attention to what he's trying to communicate in every scene beyond what's being told to you, beyond what the characters are trying to reveal to you, but really just in the setting itself. Maddox and I talked about the betrayal and the hunter seeker that goes through Duke Leto's shield. It's like, again, it's reflective. I think this is why this movie is gonna stand up for a while as an art piece, because it's like the hunter seeker is slowly penetrating the Duke Leto's shield.
In the way that the original one didn't stand up. I mean, right?
Penguin Power. Wait, is this Dune spoilers? Yeah, we talked about this. Sorry, half a minute ago. Definitely Dune spoilers. Not even half a minute ago. 10 minutes ago when we started. Also, the book's been out for 50 years. So, feel like spoilers.
Still spoilers. Still Dune spoilers.
Oh damn! I just joined. Peace.
Also, hey, thanks for the follow.
See ya.
Big Mick1.
Sorry.
I'm so sorry, Penguin. Thanks for hopping on. We'll see you next time. We will not be talking about Dune next time.
I wonder if the description. Since we've had the problem, what is our Twitch description right now? I'm gonna look.
I don't know.
What is our Twitch
description right now? We've had that issue where it doesn't update correctly.
Keymaster Games.
When you're okay, he said they said muted. Wave your hands when it's no longer being spoiled. We can do that for sure.
Described as
second cup with Keymaster is what it says. Right. What about the description? I will link also.
I need to get those notifications. All right, listen. The movie is about the slow death that's coming. The knife that you can see, right? It's the knife that you can see that's moving towards you. And it's just like these small things of...
And thanks for the sub, Big Mick. Follow and sub.
Hi, Big Mick. Just
cheers.
Appreciate it, man. We just got so distracted. Sugars. I was just deep into the Denny land. That moment when the Duke Leto, he's like reaching, he's like, gotta grab it.
Yeah. And
it's just representative of the whole movie. It's like these themes. He just pulls these themes through the whole movie, and oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yo, Mick from Our Family Plays Games. I got it now. I wasn't thinking there again. It was in the Dune world. Hello, thanks so much for the love.
Hey, Our Family Plays Games has their 100th episode coming up here pretty soon. Congratulations on 100 episodes.
That's awesome.
They're doing a giveaway over there for their 100th episode.
That's great.
So happy to have you in this community. Thanks for all you do.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so it's just I think all the small details I'm gonna just continue to appreciate. That when I left the theater, I was like, okay, that was fun. That was good. Is it making me think? Is it inspiring me to some other deeper level of thinking about this movie and the character? I'm not sure. But I think that it could as an art piece, right? I wonder how I'll feel about that. I'll be honest.
It's just I almost said the book is 30 years old. It's 50 years old. I was like, I keep forgetting that we're in the 2020s now. So I'll think about I still think about everything in reference to 2000. That was only 30 years ago. No, it's more than that. Here's just a book that's written 50 years ago that was and it's hey, the things that we're talking about that we think are just part of the consciousness, part of the social consciousness and the social ethos and the fabric of dialogue and controversy right now are so new and fresh. And you know what? But they're not. What we're talking about is something like, this has been a conversation for a long time. People have been trying to drive this into our consciousness for a really long time. How do we engage with each other, and how do we engage with our world? And it's still relevant. And 10 years from now, that movie's still going to be very relevant.
Yeah. Mick, I think that you just brought up a really interesting point. So I don't know if you caught it, but I saw this with my dad. My dad had no context for the movie, saw it in the theaters, so there was no opportunity to pause and explain. And my dad and I didn't even talk about the things he didn't understand until the next day when we were kind of debriefing after. I think this movie is so interesting because, I feel this great love for Dune, and it sounds like you do too, right? You wanted to explain to those with you, like, hey, do you understand the context, or this and that, and I'm not sure. I don't think Denny, the director, intended for people to need that context, but me as a fan, I wanted to provide it, right? And I think there's a tension I'm feeling of like, oh, that's Piter, and he's really got this hatred for Jessica, and really he's helping the Baron Harkonnen out because the Baron Harkonnen, is going to give him Jessica so he can torture or do something because he's got this. But like, and this hatred comes from and so all these motivations and these characters and the Baron Harkonnen, he really is going to kill Piter. He just can't stand the guy. You don't get any of that context, and I'm not sure you need it. I'm not sure you need it. The 1984 movie explains.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yep. It does. It's much more. It's way more literal for sure. But that's a really interesting point, Matt. And like, so Rebecca watched with me, is missing some of that context, and I really have a desire to be like, I really think you should try. I think you should read the book. Like, as much as I want to explain and have this conversation with you, I think Herbert did it better than I'm going to do. He explained it better than I will be able to, and the book is worth it. And this is totally one of those situations where I don't feel like this disparity, just again, because of Denny's technique, his execution of like this as a in movie context doesn't feel lacking. They're just choices. They feel like really intentional choices. Like he has an understanding of the big picture, and he's making really intentional choices for film, and that they're just both worth consuming.
Yeah. I think one of the interesting things we were talking about, you talk about the context and all these subtleties. Like, Frank wrote the book for the subtleties and context, not for the plot. Every chapter starts with a retelling, right? Like, Huey's going to betray betray the Duke. In chapter 6, because it starts with
it's very soon.
Boom, like, hey, this person betrayed them. And so like Bloodborne's talking about the dread being palpable, right? Like the way that they do it in the book is it's going to happen. You're just wondering how and what's going to happen as a result of it. The movie, they talk about, hey, there's a knife around every corner. The Harkonnens have spies here. We've got to watch out. But it is a plot. They had to still do the plot-driven movie of like, when's this going to happen? What happens? And all these things. And so I think that's what you're missing, the subtlety. Religion, politics, and corruption are the pillar of the universe, in my opinion. For sure. That's what Dune Messiah is all about. By the way, Mick, I'm pretty sure the first person I've ever heard recommend reading Dune Messiah, and I'm here for it. I think that's great.
It's you. I'll just say I've only ever read Dune. I've not read any of the expanded universe pieces. There was also a Caffeine comment about Warner Brothers and HBO collaborating with big plans for Dune world building. That's right. They have a prequel series in the works. And it's going to be their next Game of Thrones in a way. Yeah, I'm super ready for it.
I'm pretty sure it's about Jessica's upbringing, right? And the Bene Gesserits.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna be fun. Anyway, y'all,
Mixed read mostly all of them. Wow. Mick, do you recommend of the ones that you've read, are those the key reads, Dune and Messiah, or are there other ones that you feel like are worth it too?
I mean, Mick can answer this question. I think if you read Messiah and you enjoy it, then you should read more Frank. But Messiah takes a pretty big twist, or pretty big turn in the narrative as far as how he is telling the story, and what it's about. It's very different.
I think it's I feel like critically, it's just where his son comes into play and does writing is where people have the biggest, or held up the most by, in terms of enjoying those books. I don't enjoy them as much as Frank's writing.
Yeah, I think Mick's right. You can get your feet wet and decide how deep you want to go. Anyway, y'all, hey, listen. Check out Dune if you haven't already. I think most of you have. We can wave Penguin back in. Penguin. I'm waving.
Oh, yeah. Universal wave, symbol of wrapping up.
You should check it out. Watch it again. You know, I want so badly for Dune for us to like have a more cultural conversation around what is this about, and how does it relate to our world. It felt timely 2 years ago, but as we're dealing with the pandemic more than we are global politics. I mean, there's still global politics, but it feels like, man, this is not maybe the minute, but it might be the hour, right? It might be, hey, in this decade we can continue to come back to this and people can wrestle with it. Just not sure it's quite there yet for me. We'll see. Maybe my attitude changes.
Well, we'll see.
Any last thoughts,
part 2 has a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
Part 2 has a lot of work to do. So I'll say, like, for coming back to like our overall 4 out of 5 stars. There's a big lift. There's a big lift in the second half of the book itself. It's doing a lot of work, but it's also going to be very different. And there's a lot of things I would like to see the movie explore. So, you know, how we judge the partnership, the pair as a whole, I think is, I'm excited for that. But also, like, I have high expectations for part 2.
So here we go. Before we move on, here's the question: is this a shoe-in for Best Director?
Oh, for sure, without a doubt. I think it's a shoe-in for Best Director. I think Timothée gets his first Best Actor nomination. You know, I think Rebecca gets a Supporting Actress nomination.
I wonder.
And Zimmer, right? I think the Zimmer score.
Yeah, Zimmer gets the best.
Zimmer gets
Best Actor.
The win.
No, Zimmer gets Best Actor for sure, because the soundtrack is an actor in the movie itself. Blood Boy putting a lot of trust in the Academy. Well, think about how weird of a year it is. Like, what releases do we have this year? I mean, go back through all the HBO releases, and it's like,
Yeah.
We have a bunch of popcorn flicks that have come out.
Yeah. But also, yes, it's asking a lot of the Academy, but also think about what happened with Blade Runner 2049. It got you know, like, for a sci-fi movie, it was, the Academy paid attention.
It's just, what
I think this is way more accessible than 2049.
It's so similar in the best way possible, though.
You know what's not going to get nominated for anything? Annette. Remember, so we were talking about movies that were at Cannes, at the Cannes Film Festival that released at Cannes. We have French Dispatch that comes out this weekend. That was one. Well, watched in that. Y'all don't do it. What a weird movie with weird choices.
Which one's that?
What's
the plot of that one?
French Dispatch comes out this weekend, and next weekend is Spencer. Matt, we got back-to-back like not good releases coming up. I think if we're talking, well, that's an actress, so they're not. Again, Rebecca is not going up against Kristen Stewart, but I mean, unless Spencer really sucks, that's probably K-Stew's first nomination as well. Best actress nomination.
Did you just tell me that an Adam Driver movie is a pass for you? And
it wasn't a pass for me, Matt. I'm saying I watched it and it's bad. Oh, I'm saying an Adam Driver movie that involves Marion Cotillard and is a musical that should have been excellent was somehow not.
I thought, didn't this get a bunch of love at Cannes?
Yeah, because people are snooty and think that when stuff is super artsy, which there's a super artsy twist in Annette all the applause. And I watched it because of all of the applause, and I got to the end and I was like, wow, never again.
Hey, sorry, I skipped over. Mick said, as an African American, I have no faith in the Academy. I think that's completely reasonable.
Yep, this is fair.
Okay. Yeah, The Last Duel. I don't know. Has anybody watched The Last Duel yet?
And Last Duel. I also want to see that.
I don't know if it's getting critical acclaim. I know people have said they liked it. I know a lot of people said they liked it. I'm just not sure if it's going to make. Maybe it's Ridley Scott's, like, hey, yeah, we'll give you a nomination kind of thing. Penguin Power as an African, I have little faith in it. I'm sorry I chuckled at that because it was funny because you were playing off Mick, but also, I'm sorry, that sucks. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Academy, we'll see. All right, Jen, we got one more thing, don't we?
We've got one more thing. Hey, it's the last week for the pumpkin carving contest. It's Halloween week. If you have not submitted your pumpkins, you can head over to our Facebook page, facebook.com/KeymasterGames LLC, or just search Keymaster Games over on Facebook, and you can drop your pumpkin if you've done a pumpkin carving, done one of the Campy Creature pumpkin carving. Mick and our family plays games actually collaborated with us and partnered with us this year and did a Campy Creature pumpkin. They added it to their pumpkin painting tradition.
Nice.
Which totally qualifies. We've had sculptures, pumpkin sculpted, painted, carved, whatever it is. We love to hear about those traditions. That was an awesome tradition to hear about. And thank you so much for making Campy, adding Campy to it this year. So the templates are in the link. They're linked. If you haven't grabbed them yet, you can download them if you've got carving plans. We're taking submissions all the way through Sunday, end of day. We'll be doing 2 giveaways based on that. We'll do a judged winner and a random winner, judged winner, winning the coveted Campy Creatures carving set.
I've tattooed pumpkins for the first time this year. Wild stuff. Oh, I've seen tattooed pumpkins. I was like, Lurker, what are you doing over here? He's like, I saw it. I saw it from afar. There was this
reading
tattooed
all the
pumpkin
words
over
in
there.
that sentence, super important.
I've seen.
And then the last thing.
Tattoo a pumpkin to themselves.
The last thing is it's Adobe Max. Today's the last day for Adobe Max. Adobe Max is a creators convention based on all of the Adobe platforms. They bring in incredible illustrators, including some of the people that we've worked with on some of our games to do talks, interactive talks. Draplin, the DDC, actually he made a patch in 20 minutes yesterday. It was pretty incredible. Watched him make a patch in 20 minutes. Fastest design work. He was just, how to iterate and make things fast. It's super interesting. Lots of really fun talks. Even if you are not, there's both film, there's music, there's all kinds of different production things over there. If you have an Adobe subscription, if you have an Adobe login, it's free. You just got to sign up for it. You just got to register for it. You can go back and watch stuff on demand that's been happening for the last 2 days. Tilda Swinton gave a talk. the costume designer for West Side Story, which is also coming out at the end of the year. Didn't know that Steven Spielberg was the director behind that. Also, Matt.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I'm ready, I think, for it. Wasn't aware that I was, but I am. So he talks about his costume design and working with Steven Spielberg to bring that movie back to life in a remake, which is just very interesting conversations. Yeah. Those are just some of the interesting conversations that I've seen since I've hopped over there. And then in December, we wrap up convention, this abbreviated convention season, with PAX Unplugged down in Philadelphia, or up or over, depending on where you're coming from. December 10 through 12.
Ben Simmons is going to be at our booth. He's been traded to us. About one of you will get that reference. That's good. That's all I got.
And that's
I
what we got today. That's what happens. That's what happens when we go away for 2 weeks and we get to catch up with you. We missed y'all. Thanks for coming over and joining us this morning, this afternoon on your lunch break for a second cup of coffee.
Jen, you have to stall. You have to stall for me.
I have to stall for you because
I have to put on new music here in the outro.
Yes, add the new music. Hey,
done
also
it's done. Ready.
Downloaded special music just for the week. The track. You can let us know how you like it when Matt gets it installed. I think it's a great track. I'm pretty excited about it. I want it to be for more than this week, but I feel like it's really just a this week thing. So I found a really good one for next week too. Also be new music. Let us know what you think.
Lurker, that wasn't an inside joke. That was a NBA joke. That was an NBA joke. The NBA basketball season started last week, by the way. Let's go. So ready. But I'm probably the only one that's ready for the NBA regular season. Somehow worse. Nice. There you go. Blake, I got you, man. All right, y'all. Thanks so much for stopping by. We'll catch you next week in November. Yeah, in
November. Next week is November, Matt. Holy smokes. What is happening? Hey, if you're doing anything this weekend for Halloween, have a safe and happy Halloween. And we'll see you next week.
See you next week. See you guys.
Bye.
November. I believe this is... Whoa, that's way too loud. I just blew everybody. Woo! Sorry. Oh my gosh. We talk over the music, which is the best part. I don't even know, Jen, if you're on here, though. Oh, no. They can't hear you, Jen. How now, brown cow? Well, it's because we were doing this new NDI thing where I only take in NDI. And, hey, guys, you're going to hear half of the conversation. Yes, Jen has been replaced with music. How would you like to only hear half of our conversation? I'm not going to fix it. I can't fix it. Okay.
$1993.
Scandal. Oh, they can hear you now. I think
they can hear me now.
Stream. Half a conversation is still better than a Formula One Happy Birthday song, apparently. That joke had the full timing. You know, it's like the full start to finish.
That is the person who's been here at the beginning and at the end of this.
Hold on. So, Jen, you got to retell your whole thing.
I gotta retell my whole thing because I didn't know I wasn't off mute yet. Watch Bad Sport, Netflix series, another docu-series on Netflix about sports. It's about bad things happening in sports. The first episode is an NBA episode. Well, not an NBA episode, an NCAA episode, I guess. About Arizona State point shaving scandal of 1993.
I was not following the NCAA when I was 5. So.
I mean, I've never followed the NCAA, so even when I was at Seton Hall and should have cared, theoretically.
You theoretically definitely should have cared.
Yeah, I know. Still
I think
didn't.
so.
It's pretty interesting. It's, you know, just the stuff that it's like. Did you watch that HBO series about the doctor doing the not fun things with the gymnasts?
I have not watched the Larry Nassar stuff. No.
Yeah. Okay. Stories like that, maybe not as
hard pass.
Just different. I guess they're just you know, just how people take advantage. Just again, more evidence that hey, there's a lot of money in these sports, in sports in general, and it makes people make bad choices.
Yeah. Money makes people make bad choices.
Yeah.
Jen, I just want to say one more thing for people before we go.
Yeah.
I've had Dune Imperium on Tabletop Simulator open for the last 2 hours because we were going to play it today. And
Yeah.
We just had we had a fun conversation with our followers, our chatters.
I was happy to be back. I missed them.
Yeah.
Just catching up.
Maybe next time.
Yeah.
All right, that's it. For real this time. Goodbye. Goodbye. Walk
So long
away.
for
It's
now.
time to say